In this video, we're going to talk about how to become a millionaire with real estate. I'm going to show you exactly what I would do today if I were starting all over from scratch. So let's get started. All right, first thing I would do, just create a plan. This may seem basic, but for a lot of people, it's not basic. They just think that, hey, I want to become a millionaire. In other words, I want to have $1 million net worth, and it just doesn't happen by accident. Vast majority of people never set goals. Then of the people who set goals, a vast majority of them never write it down. I want to greatly encourage you, create a plan, write down your goals, share it with people. I actually have an accountability group that I get with we have breakfast every month, and we get together quarterly to go over our quarterly goals, annual goals, and to see, are we on track or are we off track? Like, that's all we do is hold each other accountable. So I want to encourage you, create a plan. So define your financial targets. In this instance, we're like $1 million net worth. What do you want to do? Do you want to flip? Do you want to rentals? Do you want to wholesale? You want to do both? Whatever you want to do. A lot of people will wholesale or flip in the beginning just to generate cash so they can buy and hold later. It just really depends on what your financial situation is. Educate yourself. I think learning is a great way to do this. I've had several people reach out to me and say, hey, these videos are great. I'm learning. I'm doing XYZ. I have a plan to do this. I'm house hacking, whatever the case is. And they're watching videos. They're learning as much as they possibly can before they actually go and do the thing. So I think that's great. And then ultimately you need to choose your market. Where are you going to do this? Are you going to do it in your own backyard, or are you going to try to do it somewhere else? If you're in some places, it may not be cost effective, right? If the minimum price you can pay for a rental property is $1 million in your city, that's probably not what you want to do, unless you just have lots of money to begin with, or you have other people just using their money. Some people like to invest in out-of-state markets, but you need to really be careful about which areas of those markets. So I believe a lot of cash flow type markets would be places like Little Rock, Arkansas, Birmingham, Alabama, Chattanooga, Tennessee, Jackson, Mississippi, Memphis, Tennessee. But however, you need to be very, very careful. Understand where in these cities that the best places to invest for rentals, if it's rentals you want to do, what are the best places for buy and hold? You want to be looking at B class or C class neighborhoods, and essentially A, B, C, D. A is the best, primo, and then you have B class, which is upper middle class, and then you have C, which is really working class, and then you have D. You want to avoid D at all costs. You want to avoid C minus. You really want to be C plus if at all possible. The challenge is finding people who can tell you, that know the market well enough to decide to tell you that, and they don't lead you. They don't say something's a B plus when it's really a C minus. All right, next thing is you just need to figure out how you're going to do it. If you don't have a lot of money right off the bat, the best way that I know how to do this is leveraging other people's money. Use leverage wisely. If you're going to do it, borrow money, but do it very, very carefully. I love partnerships. If I were doing it all over starting today, I would still probably do a partnership. And I didn't have any money, I would do a partnership. I would go and find some people and say, hey, you have cash and I've got time and expertise, and I want to use your cash, give you a great return on your money, and I want to build a rental portfolio. Now, this can be done, partnerships can be done where it's like 50-50, or it can be done a little bit differently than that. I did a partnership when I first started, and it's still a great way to go. Other people use HELOCs. You can use equity from your house. I think that's a great way to go. Again, as long as you're not over leveraging. I do believe that we've seen a lot of appreciation in homes over the past 5 years. And so if you have that in your, if you own a home and have that, it's a great way to use it. And then traditional financing, you can go to a bank, and if you have a great relationship with a bank, then maybe they'll loan you the money to buy a rental property, but you just want to be careful. Again, for me, this is a great way to go. I've got a friend who actually just loans money to real estate investors, and that's all he does. And he's not taking, all he wants is a return on his money. He's not even taking part of the equity of the house. I just want a return on my money. If you can find somebody like that, that's a really good deal for the investor, for you. Build a portfolio of cash flowing rentals. This kind of goes without saying, but you definitely want to cash flow as much as possible in the beginning. But I want to tell you there is a balance. Okay, so here's the balance. The balance is you can buy what looks like on paper or on a spreadsheet, looks like super high cash flow, and it be a horrible property for you. Like a spreadsheet, you can torture a spreadsheet to tell you what you want it to say, but you have to be careful. I would prefer to be very, very cautious with spreadsheets. I'd be very, very cautious with my, with estimating all of these things. I would think if you're very conservative and you come out and you're getting $200 to $300 cash flow a month on a single family residential, I think that's okay, as long as you're being very conservative, as long as you factored in things like vacancy, repairs and maintenance at a reasonable rate, right? So repairs and maintenance are going to be very important for you, especially if you're buying an older house and fixing it up. You just have to understand when people live in houses, repairs are going to happen, vacancy is going to happen. And so planning for those is the most important thing. Don't just believe the spreadsheet. Be very, very conservative. Then obviously you have insurance and taxes and all kinds of things. All right, so buy one, and then decide to do more. Take that cash flow, set it aside, grow your bank account, and then use it to buy more down the road. Again, this is power of compounding. This is not get rich quick. This is slow, methodical, buying a property, and then just continue to buy another one in another 6 months, another one in another 6 months. You never know whatever the market does, you may be able to sell some of those properties and upgrade to multifamily if that's what you wanted to do. But whatever the case is, slowly build a portfolio of cash flowing rental properties. Not too quickly, be patient. Maximize property appreciation and value. I do believe that when you buy a house, if you buy it right and you have the right renovations, upgrading kitchens, bathrooms, curb appeal, these types of things, when you're upgrading the look of these, then what they do is they tend to help you rent the property faster. However, if you add a bedroom or add a bathroom, you tend to increase the rent and you increase the value. So adding a bedroom, adding a bathroom is going to increase the rent. Just renovating the bathroom and kitchen is going to increase the speed at which you rent these properties. And both of those are very, very important. Okay, they're both very, very important. I would think both of these are really going to be good for you, just depending on, again, you need to know the market. What is a C-class neighborhood? What are they expecting versus what a B-class or an A-class is expecting? And renovate accordingly. One thing I wouldn't do right here is if I bought a 2-bedroom, I would want to make sure it could be turned into a 3-bedroom. That's just my pro tip for you. Don't buy 2-bedroom properties, buy 3 bedrooms minimum. 3-bedroom, 1-bath would be minimum. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, perfecto, right? Not too big, not too small. I think the perfect rental house size is around 1,500 square foot in a C neighborhood, C-class neighborhood. Diversify and scale. Again, single family, multifamily, commercial, you can do all kinds of things. I've had people reach out and saying, hey, I'm house hacking right now. So they're buying a duplex, they're saving for a duplex and they're going to live in one side and rent out the other. That's a great way to do it. Some people buy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 houses and then eventually they sell that as a package and sometimes to an institutional investor, and then they'll upgrade to a multifamily. They'll 1031 exchange it to a multifamily property. That's great as well. Diversify, scale, like we mentioned here, and then this is the, hey, you're buying these, and then what if you could buy all of those at one time? If you built a small portfolio, flip it, buy multiple properties at one time. And then this is really important, building a reliable team. Now, we are property managers. This is what we do. We manage tens of thousands of properties all over the country. Your property manager can be your best friend because they know the markets. If you're buying and holding rental property, they know the markets very well. They know exactly what they should rent for. When you hire a property manager, it's like a marriage because you both are dependent on each other, right? The property manager wants to make sure that the owner has a good experience, that they can rent the property and keep a resident in there long term. The entire goal of a property manager is to rent your property and keep it rented for as long as you want it rented. I would much rather, as a property manager, I'd much rather put somebody in a property and have them stay there for 7 years than try to jack prices up and deal with vacancy every 12 to 24 months. That's a nightmare for a property manager. It's also a nightmare for an owner. So our interests are aligned, and the interest is giving somebody a great property and letting them stay there. Contractors obviously are a big deal. If you have a property manager, they're typically going to take care of that. We have people that we work with. You're going to need accountants. You're going to need all kinds of people, an investor-friendly agent. There's all kinds of people that you're going to need on your team. And then you need to focus on high return activities. Finding deals, to me, is the highest return activity that you can do. It's not managing property. It's not any of that stuff. It's literally finding great deals. That's all that you should be doing if you're trying to build and grow your net worth to $1 million. All right, so that's it. Success requires planning, patience, and persistence. I love this quote by James Dyson. He says, "There's no such thing as a quantum leap. There's only dogged persistence, and in the end, you make it look like a quantum leap." Let that be the mantra. Let that be something you hang on your wall for your real estate investing career. It's not about quantum leaps. It's about doing everything you know you should do daily, consistently, habitually, so that it will one day get you to your goal of being a millionaire, if that's your goal. All right, in your first 6 months, I think you should buy one property. In 6 months, you can buy one property. There's no doubt about it. Between planning and research, building your team, making offers, doing inspections, and finally pulling the trigger and buying something, building a partnership, all the things that I mentioned, 6 months, you ought to be able to buy one property. I believe that 100%. All right, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe to our channel, and then we'll be back with more investor-friendly videos just like this one.